The happy world of 5FM Radio, your adult contemporary radio station in Zambia, connecting you to the newsmakers and events that make news in the global village.
And now, with the main news bulletin, this is Curtis Lumingu.
The headlines. LUSAKA-bound bus burns to ashes, 34 passengers escape unhurt. An energy expert supports government move to import electricity from Mozambique. AP deletes the French tweet and apologizes after it is widely mocked. The detail. 34 passengers and a driver have escaped unhurt after the Marco Polo bus, property of Jonda Bus Tours they were traveling in, was completely burnt and reduced to ashes. Confirming the development, Police Assistant Public Relations Officer Godfrey Chilavi says the incident occurred yesterday around 14 hours near Unyanya area along Great East Road, 95 kilometers west of Nyimba Boma. Mr. Chilavi says involved was Loti Mwale, age 35, of Chipata Motel, District Chipata, who was driving a Scania Marco Polo that was carrying 34 passengers on board, which was destined for Lusaka from Chipata. Mr. Chilavi explains that the preliminary investigations indicate that the incident happened when the motor vehicle had its airbag burst and eventually caught fire, and that further investigations have been instituted. Livingston Tourism Association acting chairperson Hilary Kashepa says Zambia has not tapped into the wildlife sector to fully explore its resources and opportunities which can reduce the country's dependence on copper. His comment comes after International Monetary Fund Managing Director Kristalina Georgiev on Sunday, 22nd January, visited Lusaka National Park, where she urged government to exploit its resources. Mr. Kashepa says there is more work to be done, especially in terms of infrastructure and marketing the wildlife Zambia has to the world, which he describes as a gateway to attract more tourists. Mr. Kashepa says government must ensure that it fully explores the wildlife to tap into the already existing resources to supplement the country's revenue.
Another wake-up call, encouragement to, explore. That's a move to explore, because most of these natural resources we already do have development that will encourage a certain traffic in the certain, direction, the same way we're talking about. And I think we need to explore more of these natural resources, our parks, which are actually so rich and have got very significant and distinct features from other, parks all across Africa.
Energy expert Johnston Chikwanda says the decision by government to consider importing power from Mozambique will come at a very high cost, but it is timely. Speaking in an interview with 5FM News, Dr. Chikwanda says at the moment, Mozambique is the right country where Zambia can import power to cushion the current load shedding, which has affected almost all sectors of the economy. He says the decision will come at a high cost, but is worth the sacrifice as the wheels of the economy have to continue running. Dr. Chikwanda has since welcomed the move, which comes days after he had held a press briefing where he had urged government to consider importing power. Energy Minister Peter Kapala announced that government is considering importing between 100 and 200 megawatts of electricity in an effort to end the current load shedding the country is experiencing from Mozambique.
I am aware that our power will land at a more expensive price, but this cannot compare with the impact of not having it at all. Therefore, I welcome government pronouncement announcing the intention to import power from Mozambique. Mozambique at the moment is the only country that is in a position to assist other countries in the region.
Environmentalist Akufuna Muyunda has backed calls by President Hakainde Hichilema for private investors to explore the possibilities of harvesting rainwater. Speaking in an interview, Mr. Muyunda says it has been long overdue for Zambia to begin harvesting rainwater as it experiences heavy floods in most parts. He says the need to explore the harvesting of rainwater is timely, as it can enable the country to use the harvested water for a lot of economical activities, such as supplying water in areas with low rainfall in a season, especially for agricultural purposes. Mr. Myunda says it is sad that each year rainwater goes to waste for failure to utilize it. He, however, says the venture requires huge sums of investment, hence the need for the private sector to come on board to work with the government in actualizing the agenda. Recently, President Hakainde Hichilema called for investment in water harvesting infrastructure to capture rainwater.
It's a good concern and a good observation. We should have been having such conversation 10, 20 years ago, and knowing that the challenge that comes with the rain season is obvious, and everyone can always project that we'll have such similar experiences in the future. So it's not a first time. However, it's a more of a problem in the context that comes with some certain level of investment that is required in the sector. You don't expect common citizens in Mrs. Compound to, of course, have proper technology or investment in the harvesting the water. That
Katua Member of Parliament Mwabashike Nkulukosa has outlined a number of projects on which the Constituency Development Fund's CDF will be utilized. Speaking in an interview with 5FM News, Mr. Nkulukosa says the major project areas the CDF money will cover are water reticulation, security and electricity transmission. He says they have built a hospital in the constituency which they are hoping will be opened in April, and there is need for issues like an ambulance to be provided at the hospital. He described the fund as a game changer, especially for delivering grassroots level community development.
The increment, if not being spent, they are quite theoretical. In the budget now or next year, they might as well increase them to 100 million if they are not spending. The guidelines are very stringent to access the funds, and you have to. The role of the MP is just to recommend. First, in the wards, people tell the ward leaders what they want. Here, fix the road. Here, we want money for this, and it comes to the CDF committee where I'm a member. We look at what has come for on the wards, and then we say, I think this is valid, and we approve it and send to the central government via the council. The council in Zambia, there's no decentralization. The UPND spoke about decentralization. Yes. Everything has remained the same. Councils report to the Minister of Local Government. That's why he was able to suspend the Kafue Council.
Government has called for a public mindset change in the manner garbage is being disposed of in major towns across the country. Vice President Mutala Nalamango noted that some cities in other parts of the country had bigger populations than Lusaka, but were looking more clean and kempt than the country's capital city. She has since challenged the Lusaka City Council to provide workable and sustainable solutions to the garbage situation in the central business district of the city. She said not having enough waste disposal trucks can no longer be an excuse, as the local authority has enough income and can further engage stakeholders such as industries in addressing the challenge. She was speaking yesterday during the official launch of the Lusaka Cleaning and Drainage Clearing Campaign in Central Business District of Lusaka. Now to end the news, a recap of the top stories once more. Lusaka-bound bus burns to ashes. 34 passengers escape unhurt. An energy expert supports government move to import electricity from Mozambique. And AP deletes the French tweet and apologizes after it is widely mocked. For more news, visit our website www.5fm.co.zm or like us on Facebook, 5FM Radio Zambia. Remember to abide by all the COVID-19 health measures and to get vaccinated. On behalf of the entire news crew and the techno department, thank you for listening to The Happy World. Now stay safe and stay tuned to 5FM Radio. Good morning.